Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to Alien Earth Season 1 Episode 5 review. This was titled In Space No One. This was our flashback episode. All about what happened on the Maginot. What happened? How, what occurred? How did they all get loose? A series of stupidity as well as sabotage is what happened. Rather annoyingly. I thought that there would be, a little bit of a smarter approach to the outbreak. So I was a little bit disappointed. You guys know me. I've been up and down on this series. Some episodes were good, some were bad. Episode 1 was a little bit meh. Design of the alien, how it looked and things like this. There's been good elements and some bad stuff. There's a few things in this which I really deeply disagree with in terms of the direction that they've taken it. So the overall episode I actually didn't hate in terms of the aesthetic, the design choices. Thought the music was good. It is just like being back on the Nostromo, right? It looked great. Noah Hawley directed this episode, and he's taken such great care with effectively replicating Alien, right? The aesthetic, the cast, what they wear, the smoking, the vibe, the sort of sharp-wittedness, that general atmosphere has been carefully recreated. And I'm not one of these people that hates that, because if you're on a vessel that was created around a similar time or maybe a little bit before preceding the Nostromo, it's going to have that vibe. There are going to be elements of aesthetical things that are the same across a fleet of vehicles. So I'm not one of these people that hates that. I think that makes complete logical sense. Now, some of the things I did disagree with deeply, and I'll just kind of cut right to the chase. The way the alien... Well, one, they call the alien the Xenomorph. Which, why are we doing this? Like, what are you doing? Oh, the Xenomorph has broken out. Oh, the Xenomorph. It's the Xenomorph. How big is the Xenomorph going to get? It's like... What? I thought this was an exploratory mission out into the galaxy, the universe, to gather specimens for Weyland-Yutani. Now, either they've taken the approach, which they've not stated, but either they're taking the approach that they know about the Xenomorph because of David's antics in the prequels, right? If you're following all of the viral marketing and all of the short films that came out around Covenant and post-Covenant and all this kind of stuff, David did send all of his transmissions back to Weyland-Yutani. Weyland-Yutani knew about the Xenomorph, if you're following all of that, right? But they've never said that they're expressly doing this. Now, I thought Xenomorph was just a title for an unknown entity, because in Aliens, when they say, it's another bug hunt, the Xenomorph, the Xeno what? It's just a catch-all name for an extraterrestrial being. It's a Xenomorph. It's an alien being. So, I know I'm labouring this point, but it matters, because it's that kind of flippant attitude to things like this that really does irk people. There's no need to have that. It's just a dereliction of retaining the lore, I guess, the canon. And I think that that's dumb, because it doesn't need to be that way, basically. So that was dumb. The other things that I didn't like was the way the Xenomorph moved. So, as it came down, as the alien came down, at one of key moments here and there, it moved really weirdly. And maybe that's because of who they've got in the suit, the direction as well, obviously. I didn't like it. It's not my cup of tea. When the Xenomorph, was moving in, say, episode 2, when it was pretending to be the statue, loved that. Thought that was really, really cool. If you compare the way the Xenomorph moved in Aliens, for instance, and also Alien, of course, it's nothing like how they've depicted the Xenomorph here. It's really weird. Like, it's doing weird things with its hands and stuff, which I'm not keen on. Like, I just think it looks a bit dorky to my taste. So that's that. When the Xenomorph got on all fours, quadrupedal style, looked brilliant. Running around the hallways, the corridors, looks great. Love it. Solid. So those are my main gripes. also just the sheer stupidity of the crew. You know, you're dealing with alien specimens and you're not following containment protocols, right? You know, the black woman sat there in the med bay, science bay, whatever, and she's messing around with these ticks. They call them the ticks. They are aliens that need the parasites that need a live host to feed from, because they need the oxygen-rich blood to survive, right? They don't feed on deceased animals, which I think is actually a really cool concept. But when she's feeding them, like, she's just opening the jar and just chucking a dead rat in there. It's like, they can climb up. What are you doing? Like, we know that. What are you doing? Like, where's the safety protocols? Anyway, I really did like and appreciate how smart the aliens were, though. So those tick creatures realise that she's just spinning this thing at the top, and that's how she opens it to feed them. They know that she hasn't put the containment lid on, so they open it up, get out, squirt loads of offspring, whatever they are, larvae, into her water, in a hope that they will then spawn and kill everyone. Pretty smart, to be honest. The eyeball creature, super smart. Love it. Really love it. We see it infecting... Well, we see it trying to get out. It does get out, obviously. But it's doing things like knocking on the glass. You know, it does eventually break free because, again, stupidity happened. The crew didn't lock the canister in properly. Like, why? What are you doing? Do you see what I mean? Like, there's all these kind of dumb things that happen. You could have just done other... There are other ways to cause a containment breach rather than writing that the crew is just retarded, right? So that stuff does annoy me. You're dealing with alien life forms. The mission is alien life forms. You'd think that they'd be a bit smarter because they're terrified of these creatures and they know what they can do. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, whatever. When it does break out, though, brilliant. It does actually... We see it with a human host. Amazing. One of the lead engineers. We even see it attacking the Xenomorph. They have a fight. Love it. That's brilliant. I'm all for that. That's great. It even calls the Xenomorph in because it's so intelligent. It knows that the Xenomorph will probably go for the humans first. You know, if it kind of moves out the way, or at least it will disrupt the situation. And then when it's kind of cornered in there with the Xenomorph, it then just attacks it and then just burrows out the face and buggers off. Well, actually attacks the Xenomorph. Obviously, there's no eyes to get in. I think that's wicked. That's great. All of that was brilliant. Anyway, let's get to what actually happened on the Maginot. So, there was a saboteur. It wasn't Mr. Teng. He was just a weird, perverted creep. It wasn't Morrow. It was genuinely a saboteur. Boy Cavalier knew all about the situation that was happening. Knew all about it, right? So, effectively, the lead engineer, the head engineer, Petrovich, I think was his name, something like that. Anyway, he's been breaking out of cryostasis, not telling anyone. No one knew he was doing this. Calling in to Boy Cavalier, sealing a deal with Boy Cavalier, and thus sabotaged the whole ship. Opened the cages for the ovomorphs, let the Xenomorph break free, all this kind of stuff. And I think it was great. That's cool. It's brilliant. It's a bit of a, you know, it's a bit of a subversion for what we were thinking, and I like that. I'm all for that. So that was cool. Like, seeing it break free, attacking people, the Xenomorph attacking people, all this kind of stuff. Loved that. All of that's great. Morrow sort of, you know, we learn a little bit more. Morrow's a great character. Babu Sise does a great job. I really like his motivation, right? Like, his daughter's dead. He did all of this for his daughter, effectively, and she's dead, and he's got nothing left to lose, right? I presume he did all of this because he wanted his daughter to have a better life. She's dead. He's got nothing left to lose now. You know, Ms. Yutani, the grandmother of the new Yutani in the show, current day Yutani, or mother, rescued Morrow from being a beggar, installed him with a cyborg arm, and was like, "You're the most fearsome thing I've ever known," blah, 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 blah. So he was personally selected for the mission. I love all of this. This is great. Just those key dumb things. The ticks also do something else which is really, really cool. That they expel a gas, toxic gas, that sort of kills everyone when they're released or when they're pulled off of whatever life form they're feeding on. But again, that makes me think, then why were you so happy to leave the canister open? There you go. I don't have much else to say, really. This was very good in parts. If you overlook some of the dumb stuff, and if you don't connect it to the other movies. So I'm really mixed on this episode, to be fair. I'm genuinely mixed. Also, we now know that the Xenomorph can't be frozen in cryostasis. That doesn't seem to make too much sense to me. Because it hatches from someone in cryo. So apparently its metabolism means that it can't be frozen, which... yeah, I don't know. Does that... yeah, maybe that does... I don't know, maybe that doesn't break law because of Newt? I don't know. No. No, she was she infected post or afterwards? I can't remember. I don't know if this breaks laws. You let me know down below. Anyway, bye now.